I need y'all to help settle a debate between me and a friend. When you make cereal, do you like, do you prefer to put it in the microwave or the air fryer?
The cereal?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like Cinnamon Toast Crunch and shit. Do you prefer to put it in the microwave or the air fryer?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch in the...
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
is
like
it
you
in
pour the cereal and then you pour the milk in. Or milk
And
first
then
if you
it
want to be
goes
fucking
inside?
yeah, if you want to be fucking weird about it. Or do y'all use the oven
really?
like old school?
Oh, wow. Oven top? Stove top?
Yeah, if you want to use like a skillet or something. Hi guys. I got a quick question for you. What is one piece of media, and I am going to challenge you guys to pick one. What is one piece of media that affected you so profoundly that you carry it with you into almost every TTRPG that you play now, every story you tell?
That's a great question. I think Bridge to Terabithia really forged my tragic backstory. Love.
Not while we have a Bridge to Terabithia survivor here with us.
Listen. I have actual
That's,
tears in my eyes.
that's so fucked up.
Tell me how my trauma has informed your experience.
Oh my god. Every single one of my characters has a tragic backstory. I think it's fun. And I think Bridge to Terabithia was the first movie that was like,
Is that really your answer?
yeah. Is that crazy?
Given the circumstances a little bit, yeah.
I'm gonna think of something else. Oh my god. Guys, stop.
Give me a minute. Give me a minute. I'm gonna come back. I'm finding
This is all
it.
going in Final Cut. This is all
Oh my
going in Final
god.
Cut.
I'm so sorry.
I can't.
Okay. Oh my god. Ask the question over. We'll start from zero.
No. This is all going in the cut.
No.
Yes.
Oh my god.
One piece of media that affected you so profoundly and you carry it with you into every game of D&D or TTRPGs.
So I went
Chels,
first last time and I fucked it up.
If it's
You gotta
Bridge to
go first.
Terabithia, it's Bridge to Terabithia.
I just think that was the first one. That was
Sosa was your answer, man.
Bridge to Terabithia.
No,
Oh
it's
my
not.
God. Oh my
No, it's not. It can't always be Bridge to Terabithia.
It is.
all
You don't
all
understand.
bridges lead back to Terabithia.
Fucking god damn it.
It really
Bridge to
is.
Terabithia is the specter that haunts this podcast.
Haunting the narrative at its finest.
Oh my god, is she here? Sorry, the narrative just caught me by my throat. But no, it is Bridge to Terabithia. For many reasons. It's the loss of childhood innocence. It's the I think specifically the feeling like cuz I'm from a country part of, well, it used to be country, like a countryish town. um like the childhood, like the feeling I got from them first swinging over that, like over the creek and everything over to the other side to Terabithia, and the imagination is in itself like what drove me to even start writing.
You know, should I watch Bridge of Terabithia again?
Yes,
All right, I'll
you're
Movie
do
gonna
it.
night.
find that you too began there.
I don't think I did.
Then
Well,
Gonna gonna be level with you. I don't think I did.
where did you begin? What was yours?
Well, to be clear, I'm not talking about beginnings. It doesn't have to be the first thing that affected you. My answer for something that stuck with me so profoundly that I carry it everywhere is the Soulsborne games. Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, all of that. Because it it's such a perfect combination of tragedy and hope coexisting in the same space. The like head guy, Hidetaka Miyazaki, I think his name is. I should know this. I do know this. I just can't recall it right now. But he has this quote when he was talking to one of his art directors about kind of the vibes that he wanted for the world. And he said something along the lines of, imagine a great, majestic beast doomed to a deep and possibly endless descent into ruin. And I don't know if either of you have played those games, but as you explore those worlds, it's very much like, oh, the big tragic thing has already happened and we're experiencing the aftermath. Like a lot of those bosses are like these godlike creatures who have fallen from grace and they didn't die. And so now they are just still suffering the effects of like whatever is plaguing them. And there's like still like bits of hope within that. The people you meet, every bonfire that you find. Um, I just think that the vibes of those worlds and kind of their how they view hope in those games is very resonates very deeply with me, and I like it a lot. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Pillow Fort podcast. I am Violent, they them pronouns, and I am here with my wonderful friends and co-hosts Sosa and Chels. We are your tabletop pillow princesses. So, dice down, crowns up, and let's get ready for another adventure. Sosa, Chels, how are y'all doing?
pretty good, pretty good. Like just living La Vida Loca in the only way that we can.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I think I'm sick. Um, Something's going on with my eye. But yeah.
And how are you doing, Violet?
I'm doing good because I'm recording another episode with my friends. Um, as of this recording, I'm gonna date ourselves here, but the first episode of the Pillow Fort podcast has just been released. Um,
Woo!
yeah, we're finally getting started, and we have something very special planned this episode, so I'm very excited about that. I wanted to talk to y'all about the worlds that we build when we play TTRPGs. So let's talk about lessons that we've all learned as GMs because we all have a certain amount of experience as GMs. What mistakes do you guys think made you better storytellers?
When I first started DMing, I had pitched a campaign idea called Hell's Paradise to my players, and that same day they had made characters. I was a first time GM, and literally that night they wanted to play, and I was like, "Hey," it was just an idea, a concept, and I hated the way I DM'd that session so much that I completely had a version of ego death that I think I went out bad. That night I was like, I hate this. And I completely restructured the way I pitch campaigns, DM, tell stories, because I was like, hey, no, no. It was so bad. Like secondhand embarrassment bad.
What was so bad about it? Don't. Hey, I'm so sorry. We don't have to talk about it. We don't. So it's
It's just
okay.
so hard when you're new and everybody is more experienced, and then they're like, hey, can we be level 20? And I'm like, yeah.
You
One
DM'd a
player,
level 20?
I
Was
was
that
like,
your first time GMing?
mm-hmm. And then
Oh
one
yeah, you
person
fucked up.
took a level in every single class.
What? That's actually evil.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Tubersnat Cumberfutch is the character's name. I will be running that campaign again, but I actually created a whole game system for it that I will never be put in that situation again.
Chels, what about you? What mistakes have you made that have made you a better storyteller?
not killing my players and then killing them too much. There's a real balance in combat that I still hardly understand, but I think I'm getting better at it. I don't do combats that often. I try to do them like maybe every other session or like a little bit less than even that. But I do know that like combat is part of the game. It's the most video game like aspect of the TTRPGs. So I try to do them often, but yeah, still struggling with that. But I think killing them and then not killing them enough is it helps find that middle ground.
I'm trying to think of mistakes that I've made. I just don't think I've ever made a mistake.
You're so
Thinking
perfect.
about
It's
it.
so inspiring.
It's really hard to be no, I've made tons of mistakes. I think my biggest mistake was pigeonholing myself into one path for the story. I don't I try not to keep like a general layout beat by beat of how the story is going to go because there's no way to predict what your players are going to do. But I do try and set flags of stuff that I know will happen in the character's environment. And I kind of like, okay, if the player does this, then I will, have this happen. Or if the player does this, I'll have this happen. But even that is, I've learned to be more loosey goosey because it's such a whiplash to go from being very descriptive and into the story and being able to lay out all these different details, and then a player does something you don't expect and talks to a character that you don't expect to talk to, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh yeah, there's a crate there. This character that you're talking to is just some guy who is working his 9 to 5 job. Like you can tell the difference. And so, one, becoming a better improviser has been kind of like at the top of my to-do list in terms of becoming a better storyteller. And two, just, I wouldn't say less planning, but just being better at being able to make a wide variety of things. Like I don't pigeon myself into these are the things that's gonna happen, because then you mentally prepare yourself for like, okay, this is all I'm gonna have to describe. I won't have to describe the what color the fucking sky is. I can focus on
Hmm.
XYZ, and then when you're confronted with, oh, now I actually have to focus on this other thing that I wasn't prepared for, it really throws you off and it kind of ruins the momentum of the game. So I think that was my biggest mistake.
Pigeonholing is such a real thing.
It's People talk a lot about DMs railroading the players. They don't talk about DMs railroading themselves.
Yeah. Like, and especially like having that set idea that things are supposed to go a certain way to this for the story to progress is like very limiting for not just you and the players, but the story itself. Like,
Mhm.
there's non-linear ways to get to a certain point. Do you never take shortcuts to get home?
Yeah, learning
Right.
that the story doesn't have to be so linear was also a good learning curve. That loosey goosey improvisation, learning to reduce, reuse, recycle, top tier experiences. Yeah, my players, they're in a horror campaign. There was a doll in the middle of the forest that was supposed to be like their healing NPC, and they stabbed it with a sword. I don't know if that was really on me or the setting or them as players, but they eventually got the teddy bear like 20 sessions later. But reduce, reuse, recycle.
I would also like to know what kinds of worlds feel most alive to you as DMs? Or even more specifically, what is it about worlds that makes them feel alive?
Definitely culture. Um, within, I think a lot of DMs forget that with world building, you have to have an idea of culture of the area. And so I find it more engaging and easy to fall into role play when I understand the culture of the area better. Like what practices, beliefs, clothing, like little things such as like even describing like clothing as part of that culture is more immersive for me personally.
How about you, Chels?
Ones that are just like collaborative, like I love I'm gonna keep blazing them. Like I love Daggerheart because of how inclusive it is with everyone being a part of making the story. And I just think that's always more fun to play with your players, even as a DM.
Yeah, that aspect is really fun. It's because the other people just always come up with shit that you would never think of. And speaking of the collaborative aspect, like going back to what you said, Sosa, the having a lively and diverse like culture in your worlds and the different settings that you explore. I've also found that a lot of my players, especially when they come from like different cultural backgrounds and are very comfortable with each other, will insert parts of their culture into the world. And so you're basically creating this new culture that's kind of a patchwork combination of everything that you all have experienced together, which I think is just beautiful. It's a beautiful aspect of collaborative storytelling.
I think like systems like Daggerheart really bring that to the forefront when you allow your like players and like like counterparts at the table to like add their pieces into the overall story. Like you did for Daggerheart with the gravity storm. I will never not shut the fuck up about that.
Yeah,
It
that was
was
It
honestly one of the best parts of even playing in the Daggerheart was like listening to you guys play. Oh, I was hooked. Sometimes I literally forgot that I was supposed to be saying stuff.
Yeah, it's so fun letting other people design the world. And it's something I'm learning to do more in my own games, to kind of let the players let them cook. Hey, let them in the kitchen. But in terms of what makes worlds feel most alive to me is the mundane aspects of the world. Because, it's very easy to narrate about the large stuff. It's very easy to go on about, oh, this is the government and political structure. There's the kings and queens and this intense intrigue, or there's these magical beasts, or there's this war, or these fights, or this big magical thing. But something that always makes a world feel so alive is when we even very briefly just follow the life of a random nobody in a given town. What is their day-to-day life like? Not to sing too many praises for worlds beyond number, but in The Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One, I remember they went to this city that was part of one of the empires. It was very much like New York. It was very much like, you guys don't have to worry about being too stealthy here because everyone's doing shit. The city's always awake. Like, people are minding their own fucking business. Like, it's not as locked down security wise as you think it is. And I remembered, I think they talked to, or they were thinking of going up to a random NPC and asking them where this location was. It was like a pub or a bar, like something that you can commonly find in cities. And Brennan explained, I think he was explaining why it would kind of be difficult to just do and to just ask for someone. And he's like, yeah, this is a big city. There's a lot of bars, and you're thinking of going to the guy who unpacks crates from shipping freighters every day. Like, hey, where's this specific bar in this massive city? Like, no, they don't know. They're busy doing their own shit. Like, they're not keyed
How would they
into
know
your
that?
adventure. Right. And just the small, it's the small things that make a world feel alive to me. And it's something that I've, at least for me, is very easy to insert into the stories I tell. Because if a player is coming up and talking to an NPC, all I have to do is insert a mundane experience from my own life into that NPC to make it feel alive. I'm living it. I'm living the mundane. They go up and talk to an NPC. The NPC is going to be like, dog, I got bills to pay. Like, I can't keep talking to you. I can't follow you on this adventure. I got a full ass job and a family. Like, um, and it always takes players by surprise, and they're like, oh, it's easy to forget, like, I'm talking to real people, but
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Yeah,
It makes the world feel very real.
it adds that level of immersiveness. Yeah.
Yeah.
It do.
My players often, I think one of the biggest frustrations I've had with my players and vice versa is that no matter how many times I say, hey, this is a narrative sandbox, like open world discussion, it like even when I blatantly say, like, hey, these NPCs have their own motivations and wills and everything, they still like at times are like, well, this person's being rude to me and stuff. I'm like, well, because they don't care, like, you're being rude to them. They have their own feelings, motivations. They have like their own stuff, the mundane things they have to do, and you're interrupting that. And then on top of that comes with all the things that you're asking. And if they don't have the answers for it, then they don't have the answers for it. And just because you roll a nat 20, that doesn't change the fact that they don't know shit.
So earlier in this episode, at the very beginning, we were talking about kind of what stories we carry with us into every campaign we play. When I ask this episode, I'm going to preemptively ban Bridge to Terabithia as an answer. Okay.
Why?
Yeah, no, I get it. We're gonna cry and piss and shit all over the place.
You
Um,
promise?
Somebody sedate me.
What are y'all's favorite settings from media? Games, anime, TV, books, you name it. And we'll go with Chels first.
Fuck. I think worlds like I always love a good gothic horror like Castlevania. When it came out a couple years ago, not the game, the like anime thing on Netflix, I was obsessed. I literally started like making one of my first campaigns because of it. I was like, oh, this is cool. World ending for a reason. I was like, oh, this is beautiful. So yeah, I like the gothic horror type of settings. I was never really into like Lord of the Rings and stuff, so I never really got the thrill of high fantasy. But I did do like Narnia, so like I understand high fantasy. I'm gonna call that high fantasy. So yeah, I think those settings are always fun because they come from like childhood.
You know what? That's actually that eats, sis. I'm not gonna hold you. That eats. Also, such a pull to say the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but it's kind of like Bridge to Terabithia in a way.
Oh. You're so annoying. Oh
We
my
established in episode 1 that we are holding Chelsea's granny hostage to
I
get
didn't
her
do it.
to. Yeah,
Yes, you did.
I don't care. Okay, y'all are in this together. I need you to keep each other locked down. Sosa,
I'm sorry, I'm joking.
Wow.
I'll kill granny.
Wow.
Rest in peace, my granny. She died to a bazooka.
Kabloom.
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 Sosa, what's your
Yeah.
favorite setting?
Ooh, this is gonna be such a niche pull. Nobody has ever heard of this thing. There's this anime called, I don't know, how do you pronounce it in English? Bleach? There's an anime called Bleach, and first of all, imagine being a teenage little redheaded little Japanese boy, right? And all of a sudden, an immense pressure starts. No, pause,
I
pause,
thought you were
pause.
talking about you. I was like,
Yeah, I was like, red?
is the
No.
redheaded
Okay.
Japanese boy in the room with us? The fuck?
No, just imagine though, and then all of a sudden somebody's spiritual pressure, you could just sense their spiritual pressure. And then like you're like
Mhm.
having to go to high school, but then you're like, wait, no, I don't. And then you pop a pill and you go to the Soul Society or Waco Mundo. First of all, it solves a lot of my issues.
Oh.
And your teddy
Oh.
bear that be running around acting like a little heathen, yeah, he has to go to school for you. And then you just gotta go save the world. You're not thinking outside the box. Also, Inuyasha, I really do like countryside type animes, world settings and everything. I like a little rural fantasy. Having grown up in a rural town.
It's kind of hard for me to decide on a favorite setting because it's like a lot of my favorite stories, I'm either not in it for the setting or they
Mhm.
take place in the real world.
Mm.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like my favorite video game, for example, Persona 5, it takes place in basically like real world Japan or in some nigga's psyche. Spoilers, anyways. So I'm trying to think of setting. Of course, Umora from Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One.
Of course.
Recently, though, one of my favorite settings has been from the game Expedition 33, especially when you find out like what's actually going on with the world like towards the end of the game. I won't spoil anything for
Yeah, you
anyone
better
listening,
not.
but once you actually find out what's going on with the world at the end of the game. It kind of recontextualizes everything and makes the world like feel so much smaller, but also so much more meaningful and so much more like whimsical. And I just love how colorful it is, the diversity of setting types and locations, like biomes, in the small amount of space that you explore, um, and also the types of characters that you find. I think it's really cool. Love that game down. But yeah, so I want y'all to pick your poison or pick your potion. Do you value lore or atmosphere more in a campaign?
What do you mean by atmosphere?
I'm so glad you asked, Chels, because I got some definitions here. Lore
Yay!
is the established history, facts, and background of everything. We all know what lore is. Atmosphere is the emotional tone, the sensory details, and kind of the mood that is created at the table.
I think for my first like two campaigns, I focused more on the atmosphere because still to this day, most of the background lore isn't even worked out, playing it by ear. So yeah, I think in the beginning I focused more on atmosphere, but as I'm growing as a DM, I'm focusing more on having my lore established because it makes it easier for me personally to have everything all solved and figured out, and then I can focus on the atmosphere.
I love lore. I feel like I love lore. I want to know all your secrets. I want to know all the nooks and crannies of how your world operates. I want to know
Mhm.
how it is for mine too, because while in game, I'll contradict my own lore, um, like a slippery serpent, and then I have to recontextualize or reframe things. But I think that learning lore often influences, pick your brain, influences the atmosphere of the campaign
Mhm.
because all it takes is one juicy fat lore to just change everything about the
Juicy
campaign.
fat. Mhm.
One juicy, fat, throbbing lore.
Yes,
Oh,
quaking, shivering in your fucking timbers.
Trembling, quivering lore.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I. It's kind of a toss up between the two. I think atmosphere is most important because that's the thing that's gonna keep most people the most engaged, and it's the thing that I enjoy the most. But being the type of person I am with the type of brain I have, parentheses neurodivergent, um, lore is what I focus on because I'm like you, so like I need to know what is coming up. Like I need to know at least the broad strokes so that if my players do some crazy shit or uh ask a random question that I didn't expect, I can quickly come up with an answer for that. And also, I don't know, it's fun. I kind of like coming up with I like world building. It's really fun.
but yeah, I also think it depends on like if you're doing like a full length campaign or like a one shot. Because if it's a one shot that's gonna be like 3 hours, does the lore matter that much, really? You know what I mean?
Do one shots even last 3 hours? Every one shot I've ever participated in has gone on for like longer.
That's honestly super fucking fair. I tried running one shots and the shortest I got was like 2 sessions. So that was like 4, 6 hours.
I do think you're right. Like kind of like you don't really need that much lore for one shots, but the kind of person I don't know, maybe it's just me over preparing, but I will the amount of lore I put into one shots, I can literally write an entire essay about or like a short story about. And most of the time, it never fucking comes up, but it's there in case the players ask that question. But it's also, I've gotten to the point in world building where I'm able to come up with it relatively quick. Like, it's not much of a problem for me to just create some lore. Hey guys, speaking of lore and world building, I have a really fun activity planned for us. So, this segment is going to be ongoing for several episodes, however long it takes. We're in no rush. This segment is going to be called The World We Build. And what we're going to do is we're going to build a world together, bit by bit, and that world will be the setting for the first long form campaign that we stream
Ooh.
for the Pillow Fort Twitch.
Woo!
Oh, the Twitch, we're gonna set everything up. We're gonna be streaming games on there. And for our first long form game, it's going to be set in this world. So I'm glad that we just talked about atmosphere because when we were brainstorming this segment and what it would be, one of the first questions that came up was what even would the story be like? Fantasy, sci-fi? Questions around atmosphere, the first foundational building block. So that's what I want to gauge. What kind of what do you want the vibe for this world to be, y'all?
I think the first thing that pops into my head is, remember, I think it was Fantasy High, and yes, we're bringing her back into the conversation. Fantasy High, the apotheosis, like when Brennan brought up apotheosis, or maybe it was Matthew Mercer. At that time, I was watching both campaigns going on, which was campaign 3 and campaign the Fantasy High junior year, and I love, like, I think, and you guys obviously this is collaborative, but spitballing, I love a good cyberpunk feel. Like, like, I just picture in my head like a god, but like cyberpunked. Like, that's the imagery in my head.
Ooh. I That's interesting because I was thinking um post-apocalyptic. So maybe like a
Okay.
cyberpunk post-apocalypse kind of. Did either of you play like Near Automata?
No, but
I
I
don't think
saw
so.
art for it.
Kind of just think like ancient technology that looks like, it's old ruined, but it's still like super advanced and everything. Um, so yeah, we could do a little bit of both. We could
I
have
like that.
some dead or undead gods in a cyberpunk post-apocalypse.
Oh my
So it
god.
seems like the vibe we're going that our fucked up little minds immediately jumped to was kind of a little bit of a darker setting. And Chels, my love, I know you like horror.
I
I
do
love
love
horror
horror.
too.
I love horror. Yeah, I was gonna say something like whimsical if we did like fantasy esque, but if we're doing cyberpunk, I think we should really lean into the tech stuff. So
Mhm.
not, I don't know the another word for it. So not like whimsical, but like just leaning into all the tech stuff really heavy.
Okay. Okay, cool. We have the vibe, we have kind of the genre we're going for. Um, the next thing for building this world that I would like us to consider is the literal shape of the world. Some ideas that pop to mind when I think of a cyberpunk post apocalypse is like, I don't know, maybe there's an overworld that's been decimated, and so all the technology in cities have built downward into the ground. Or I like the idea too, maybe not for this specific story, but I just generally like this idea of literal, like, fractured worlds. Like, the globe itself is in, like, pieces
I was literally
that
gonna
are
say
just like
that.
I'm
Yeah.
picturing melted ice cream. Ice cream drips melting, either the sun and moon melting or like fractured and maybe like around the planet. Oh my god, you know like that animated show Invincible, where the rim around the planet is a
Oh,
bunch of
their dead
dead
bodies.
Viltrumites.
Yeah.
What if it's a bunch of dead automatons and scrap metal because the planet is, like you said, shattered?
Let me see if I can. So I was thinking like something like this. And so what if we have like this and like there's just massive fissures that separate these segments of the planet and connecting those fissures, and I'm talking like several hundred miles wide, like an
Hmm.
entire like ocean, the size of these fissures, and just large technological things, and they could be, kind of like what you were talking about, Sosa, partially made out of the bodies of like androids or something, or huge androids, like colossal level, and so
Colossi?
there's just like massive like robot like skulls like in these fissures kind of like holding the world together.
Yes. Oh my god, wait, what if the parts where people try to reseal parts of the broken earth are filled with like automaton or colossi filament, like silver filament trying to manually reconstruct the world?
Ooh,
Or if
yes.
there is a being that is holding the world, if their movement is just because of how ancient they are, so slow, you just slowly see their hand move around it. So, like,
Like
repositioning it.
tectonic plate type movement.
Yeah, like its hand just physically having to rotate the planet because it's keeping it in stasis so it doesn't like completely like desecrate and like be
Oh,
broken apart. And from the horizon line you see the visage of it, and you just see it slowly rotate because you like time needs to pass.
yeah. Ooh, like okay, so the big giant android mechs or whatever, they're actually trying to save the world.
Or
Ooh,
reform it to hurl
okay.
it into the sun.
Oh, oh.
I think we stop here for this segment of the world we build. This is already really fucking cool. And next episode we will come in with more stuff and start building out this world more and more. I'm already very excited for it. Okay, I think we're getting up on time. I think this episode has been yet another banger. Boom, put a W up on the board for the tabletop pillow
Woo!
princesses.
Pew, 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 pew,
Um,
pew.
Thank you again for joining us in the pillow fort. Sosa, where can folks find us?
You can find us on X, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, ooh, Blue Sky, Pinterest now, as of this morning, 11:59 this morning. You can find us at the Bridge of Terabithia. Um,
Nope, nope, you can't find us there. Nope.
oh, and you can find us in the Watchtower Discord. If you don't know what the Watchtower Discord is, it is run by our lovely Chels. Chels, you're like right on this side of me, so I'm gonna
She's
point this
up
way.
there for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So by our lovely Chelly Chel Chels, and they have a TikTok page and they will be posting the link maybe soon.
Woo!
Maybe soon. Woo!
Maybe soon. All right. Uh, Thank you for joining us in the Pillow Fort, everyone. We are your tabletop pillow princesses, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.